Welcome to the chosen path. Not everyone who admires your light deserves to stand in it. And you know what? That's exactly how it's supposed to be. As one of the chosen, you walk through life surrounded by many, but you belong to a rare group. People will be drawn to your energy. They'll feel something powerful when they're near you, but most won't understand what it truly means. They'll crave what you carry. But here's the truth. Not everyone is meant to have access to it. You weren't chosen because everyone liked you or understood you. You weren't picked to blend in or to make sense to the crowd. You were chosen because your path is different, because your strength is undeniable, and because your spirit is rare in a world that doesn't always recognize value until it's gone. The world will always want pieces of you, but it doesn't mean everyone should have them. That separation, that inability for just anyone to access your energy, is exactly what makes you unique. Think about it. Not everyone can handle your energy. It's too powerful for some people. It's not just your words or your actions that pull people closer. It's your very presence. Something about you makes others want to be near, even if they can't explain why. But here's the reality. Just because they feel drawn to doesn't mean they're meant to stay. Your energy is sacred. It's valuable, and it demands more than small talk, fake friendships, or shallow connections. Some people chase after your light because it fills something they're missing. Maybe it's confidence, wisdom, or peace. They want the calm and strength that radiates from you. But the catch is this: even though they want it, they can't hold on to it. They can't keep up with the depth you bring, because your energy demands authenticity. It requires honesty. It requires presence. That's why so many people are fascinated by you at first, but then fade away once they realize being in your world means being real. Most people aren't ready for that kind of depth. They're comfortable living behind masks, repeating patterns, staying in places where things are simple and predictable. They like the idea of being near you, but when they realize being in your life means shedding their masks and stepping into the truth, they back away. They want the glow, but not the responsibility of carrying light. They want the blessing without the transformation. But chosen ones, hear this clearly. You were never meant to lower yourself to make others comfortable. You weren't picked to water down your energy so others could tolerate it. You were chosen because you are different, because your frequency isn't supposed to match the ordinary. Your presence will only align with those who are willing to rise to your level. That's why you'll never be for everyone. And that's a good thing. Here's something else. People are fascinated by you for reasons they can't even name. They can sense that you don't fit into the molds they're used to. You're not walking the same well-worn paths they know. Your silence, your focus, your aura, it all says something even before you speak. And that mystery is magnetic. They want to figure you out, but they can't. And when they realize they can't control, explain, or fully grasp you, they often drift away. Most people only understand surface-level connections, but your soul, it's layered, rich, complex. On the outside, they might see calmness, confidence, or strength, but beneath the surface is depth they can't even begin to imagine. And that depth unsettles them because you force them to question things they've avoided. You shake their beliefs about who they are, what they want, and how they live. For some, that's inspiring. For others, it's terrifying. You have to understand, most people live in a small, predictable bubble. They know what to expect, and they stick to what's familiar. But when they meet you, they're faced with something they can't put into a box. You don't fit their expectations, and you don't play by the rules they're used to. So yes, they're curious. Yes, They're drawn to you, but to truly understand you, they would need to expand their own awareness. And most aren't willing to do that. So they leave. They want what they can't get. They like the idea of you, but not the reality. And that's okay, because you were never meant for people who settle for simple. You're not here to fit into anyone's comfort zone. You're here to challenge, to awaken, to shift. And that's why you will always stand out as chosen. Third, you do something to people that honesty rarely does. You pull them out of their comfort zones. And yes, that makes them uncomfortable. Not because you're trying to poke or punish them, but simply because your presence lifts the veil on parts of their lives they've learned to ignore. Most people build safe little worlds, routines, excuses, easy answers that keep things predictable. They prefer the familiar even when it's small or stale, because familiarity feels less risky. Then someone like you walks in, someone who doesn't fit their mold, and suddenly the room feels different. You don't have to speak loudly, just standing there, being fully yourself, forces a question into the air. Is this all I want? That single, silent question is enough to unsettle people who have been avoiding change. You don't exist to be comfortable for everyone. When your energy meets theirs, it can act like a mirror. They see things reflected back, gaps in their courage, places they stopped growing, decisions they postponed. For some, that reflection is useful. It's the jolt that starts real change. For many others, it's painful. Pain makes people back away. So even though they're drawn to you at first, they often drift off when the cost of being close is the work of becoming more than they are. Think about it this way. If you handed someone a map to a new country, some people would want the trip, some would favor the brochure, and some would refuse because they don't want their routine disrupted. You are that map. You show possibility. But not everyone wants to leave the familiar town behind. Not everyone wants to trade comfort for growth. That's why attraction doesn't always become connection. They want the idea of you, the glow, the novelty, but they don't want the inner work your presence demands. Because your light exposes truth, it also exposes insecurity. When you enter a space and simply exist, people feel an awkwardness because your standards highlight what they hide. They might admire your calm, your confidence, your refusal to perform. Yet watching you live honestly can make them feel ashamed of their half-hidden life. Instead of becoming inspired, they get defensive. They'd rather point fingers or make excuses than tidy the shadowed corners of their own heart. And that defensiveness can look like anger, distance, or passive sabotage. You'll see it: a smile that fades, a conversation that cools, sudden busyness that becomes an excuse to leave. People would rather avoid the reflection than face it. Some will try to pull you down to their level, mocking, minimizing, or gaslighting. Because if they can diminish you, they don't have to change themselves. Others will act like they want you close, but will never step up when the real work appears. That's not on you. That's the human tendency to protect what's comfortable. There's another hard truth about being someone who makes others shift. You cannot be owned. Many people are attracted to your energy because it feels rare, like an object they want to possess. But you are not an object. You are not a project to be finished, a problem to be solved, or a prize to be won. You are a person with boundaries, a life, and a calling that will not be negotiated into someone else's comfort. That independence confuses and sometimes angers those who hoped to control you. Early on, people will try to fit you into the boxes they know. They'll guess your moves, assume your limits, and test you to see how pliable you are. Very quickly they learn you don't bend on command. That's when discomfort becomes frustration for them. They thought they could predict you. They can't. They thought they could train you into familiarity. You don't allow it. You stay unpredictable because you are loyal to your own truth, not to someone else's expectations. That unpredictability is not chaos. It's integrity. You act from what's real for you, not what's convenient for others. That approach breaks the scripts people have memorized about how relationships should run. It forces them to show up without their rehearsed lines. For those who are ready, that's freeing. For those who are not, it feels like walking on ice without a guardrail. So accept the space this creates. Understand that the very things that make people seek you, your honesty, your presence, your refusal to be tamed, are the same things that make many unable to stay. That's okay. You weren't put here to be everyone's comfort or to fill other people's gaps. You were put here to push the edges of what's possible, to live in a way that invites others to grow if they choose to, and to keep moving when they don't. Let the ones who can't handle it step back without carrying their weight on your shoulders. Your role isn't to fix them or to shrink yourself into someone's idea of safe. It's to stand steady, to shine the light, and to keep walking forward. Even if the path thins and only a few are brave enough to walk alongside you. You can't be boxed in. People may try to grab hold of you, to pin you down, to make you fit their story. But you slip away. The more someone tries to possess you, the faster you move out of reach. You value your freedom too much to let anyone take it. Your independence, your sense of self, your inner rules. These things are non-negotiable. That's why your spirit can feel wild and confusing to others. You're not tameable, and most people have never learned how to meet that kind of wild with respect. A lot of people are drawn to you for the wrong reasons. They see what you have: peace, strength, clarity, and they think if they stay close, some of it will rub off on them. But many of them don't want to grow, they want to harvest. They come to take energy, to borrow confidence, to feed on your light without ever offering anything back. At first, it might not be obvious. They smile, they flatter, they hang around, but slowly you feel the weight. Conversations become one-sided. Your kindness gets treated like an unlimited resource. You end up drained, not because you gave too much, but because others took too much. You're not here to be someone else's battery. Real relationships are a two-way street, give and receive. When the balance tilts and you're the only one giving, your life becomes a drain. You can feel it in your chest, in your mood, in the way your energy dips after certain people leave. Learn to notice that tiredness. It's a signal, not a weakness. Protect your light. Say no without apology. You'll find that when you stop being everyone's supply line, the right people who actually add to your world begin to stay. That leads to another truth: your standards will push many away. You set a bar because you know your worth, and you refuse to settle for half measures. You expect honesty, growth, effort, not perfection, but real intention. For some, that feels threatening. They'd rather keep things easy, keep things small, and avoid the work that real connection asks for. So when you demand clarity, when you ask for real presence, they'll step back. They'll complain you're picky, but it's not pickiness, it's self-respect. Holding standards doesn't make you cruel, it makes you wise. If someone can't meet the basic requirements of respect and reciprocity, that's not your problem to fix. You weren't chosen to be everyone's comfort. You were chosen to raise the standard. Those who rise with you will be rare and valuable. Those who don't will fall away, and that's fine. Better to have a small circle of true people than a crowd of comfortable mediocrities. And here's something most people struggle with: you are too real. In a world that applauds masks, your honesty is jarring. People try to put you in a box because boxes are easier to manage. They want you predictable, explainable, safe. But you refuse that. You live out loud and without filters. You don't change yourself to suit other people's comfort. That kind of authenticity both attracts and repels. When people encounter your truth, it forces them to face their own. That's uncomfortable. They see a mirror held up to their excuses, their shortcuts, their quiet compromises. And many will choose to look away. Some will do the opposite. They'll attack. They'll mock. They'll try to label you so they can sleep at night. Don't take it personally. Their reaction says far more about their fears than about you. You are not a thing to be owned, tamed, or fixed. You are a person on a path. People who want control will always look for ways to trap you in dependency. But you don't belong in anyone's box. You move by your own rhythm. You answer to your own inner law. That independence frustrates the ones who hope to hold you, because every attempt to possess you only makes you step further into your freedom. So keep your boundaries clear. Keep your energy guarded. When someone comes into your life asking for a place, watch if they bring balance, not just need. Notice who shows up with hands open to give, not only to take. Over time, you'll be surrounded by fewer people, but those people will matter more. They'll be the ones who can stand in your light without trying to dim it. You were never meant to be small for anyone else's comfort. Your presence calls people to grow, and that call will be met with resistance by many. That's okay. It's how the world sifts itself. You don't need every person who's curious about you to belong in your life. You only need the few who are brave enough to stay and honest enough to match your truth. Some people will drift out of your life simply because they can't see what you see. And that's okay. You were never here to live by their truth. You were placed here to live by your own. One of the most magnetic things about you is that you don't chase approval. While the world runs around collecting likes, comments, and claps, you've built your own light from within. You're like a solar panel soaking up the sun. Your glow comes from a steady source that doesn't run out just because someone else forgets to charge you. Meanwhile, others are scrambling for those quick, cheap batteries of outside validation. Your freedom from that cycle fascinates people, but it also makes them sweat. Your independence is like hot sauce at a party. Some people love it, can't get enough of it, while others take one taste and immediately panic because it's too much for them to handle. Your confidence is a double-edged sword. It inspires and it intimidates. It excites people, but it also stirs up their insecurities because you live like someone who doesn't need the crowd's constant nod to keep moving. People secretly want you to need them. They want you to ask for their advice, to seek their opinion, to shrink a little so they can feel bigger. But you don't play that game. You'd sooner talk to your plants than beg for approval from someone who can't even water their own life properly. Every move you make says the same thing: your opinion. Thanks, but I'm good. That's why only people who truly value themselves understand you. They're not threatened by your light. They don't shout, "Look at me," when they're with you, because they've already learned that real worth doesn't need a spotlight. And here's the truth. Living for yourself, refusing to beg for permission, that's one of the most powerful things you can do. Independence is not loneliness, it's strength. When you shine for yourself first, you give others the courage to shine for themselves too. But there's another side to your path. Not everyone is meant to walk it with you. Your journey is different, and it's not built for crowds. Yes, People are drawn to your confidence and your light. They want to stand near it, hoping some of it rubs off on them. But what they don't see is the weight you carry, the battles you fight, and the obstacles you climb every day. They want the victory without the struggle, the glow without the grind. Being close to you isn't like riding a fast train to success. It's more like joining a movie where the script is constantly evolving. The plot twists are intense, and every scene demands strength, patience, and courage. Most people aren't ready for that kind of role. They want the applause, not the rehearsal. They want the trophy, not the training. That's why you've learned to walk much of your journey alone. Not because you dislike people, but because you know few are truly built for the spiritual and emotional weight you carry. And yet, your solitude isn't a punishment. It's protection. Walking alone at times gives you the clarity and strength that group approval never could. You know how to choose your circle carefully, surrounding yourself only with people who can handle the fire without getting burned. Friends who won't flinch when life gets hard. Allies who know that real growth comes with scars as well as victories. Here's a hard truth. A lot of people don't want you. They want what you have. Your peace, your wisdom, your success. It shines like a banquet to people starving in their own lives. They see your calm spirit and want a taste of it, but not the discipline it took to build. They see your wins and admire them, but they don't want to learn how you earned them. It's like admiring a luxury car without caring about the years of maintenance, fuel, and hard miles that made it roadworthy. From the outside, people only see the finished product, the glow, the confidence, the respect. That's why so many want to be near you, not to know you, but to sample the benefits of your journey. But the chosen path isn't for tourists. It's for those who are willing to put in the work, to walk through the storms, and to embrace the lessons that shaped you. Those who only want the shine, without the sacrifice, won't last. They'll always fall away. And that's fine, because you're not here to be everyone's free meal. You're here to keep walking your path, carrying your light, and letting only those who are ready and willing join you for the real journey. You've trained your instincts to spot people who only want what you have on the surface. You can tell from a mile away when someone's trying to hitch a ride on your light instead of walking their own path. You're not here to be someone's prize, prop, or stepping stone. Real relationships are built on give and take, on showing up when it's hard, on accepting each other's flaws and still choosing to stay. That's the kind of connection you value, not the casual skim, off the surface kind. So if someone only wants a quick taste of your life without diving in, they were never meant to stay. That's why your circle is small and why it's sacred. Real people, the ones who will last, are rare because real relationships take effort, honesty, and courage. You don't want a crowd. You want a tribe that's willing to do the work. You want people who can handle the depth, the storms, and the long nights of growth. You want companions who will love you for who you are, not just for the highlights you put on display. Here's a truth many people don't want to hear. You weren't chosen so that everyone would like you. That's not the job. People spend entire lives chasing likes, approval, and acceptance. But your path isn't about being popular. It's about being true. Your role is to disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. You provoke questions. You push people out of inertia. You turn up like a mirror, and sometimes mirrors break the illusions people were living in. That will make some uncomfortable. Some will step forward. Others will shrink away. Both reactions are part of the process. Being honest and strong will draw some in and push others away. And that's okay. Your calling is not to be everyone's safe place. Your calling is to be an agent of change. You move people, you inspire them, and you make them rethink easy choices. That kind of influence will never be universally loved. It's too honest, too demanding, and too real. So be proud that not everyone understands you. That's the sign you're doing something important. You were chosen to raise the bar. You were chosen to live loudly in your truth and to invite those who are brave enough to rise with you. The people who stay will be the ones who are ready for growth, who see value in being challenged, and who want to build something deep and true. Those are the people worth keeping close. Accept that being different is part of your power. Don't dim your light so others can feel comfortable. If your presence makes someone uncomfortable, that's not a failure, it's a signal of change. Your light is supposed to shake things up. It's supposed to show the path to people who are ready to walk it. Be bold enough to be different. Be kind enough to those who aren't ready yet. And be patient with the ones who decide to follow. If this message resonated, if you felt the truth in some part of this, stay with us. Hit subscribe and join a community that's not here for the easy likes or shallow praise, but for real growth, real questions, and real results. In the next video, we'll go deeper. I'll show you the quiet habits that protect your energy, how to spot a taker in the first 5 minutes, and the daily practices that keep your light strong without burning you out. Don't miss it. The next level is where things begin to change in ways you can feel. Stay close, but choose carefully. Keep your circle small and fierce. Your path is sacred, and only the right people are invited to walk it with you. So remember this: you were never chosen to blend in. You were chosen to rise, to shine, to set a standard the world hasn't seen before. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will stay. And that's perfectly fine. Because the ones who remain will be the ones strong enough to walk beside you, to grow with you, and to honor the light you carry. But what I've shared with you today is only part of the truth. There are deeper layers, habits, battles, and hidden signs that every chosen one faces once they begin to step fully into their power. If you've ever wondered why certain struggles seem to target you, or why your journey feels heavier than most, that's not by accident. And in the next video, I'm going to break that down for you, so stay connected. Don't just stop here. Hit subscribe, be part of this path, and join me as we dive even deeper into what it really means to live as one of the chosen. Trust me, what's coming next will answer questions you didn't even know you had. Because your story isn't finished yet. It's just beginning.